Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Gay Space Rocks podcast, the most adult, very mature podcast about a children's cartoon about rocks from outer space that come to save us forever. I am your host, Brian, and with me is my co-host and partner in life, in the universe, and everything, Ari.
Sup?
So this week we had a pretty fun return to form. Steven Universe is back on a weekly fucking schedule. Jesus Christ. The drought is over until 2 more episodes, and then we'll go on hiatus for 9 years. We'll all tell our children about this thing that used to exist called Steven Universe. And then we'll get 1 episode.
It's like Sherlock, but good.
Yeah, it is like Sherlock, but good. Yeah, suck it, Sherlock.
I used to be one of those people, so, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
Fair.
So what we're going to do this week is, since we only had the 1 episode to talk about, and also thank you for everybody who sat through the hour-long podcast that we definitely should have broken up into 2 parts.
God, we're so sorry.
We're very sorry about that.
Jesus, it was so long. Like, I didn't even care by the last 20 minutes of it. You could probably tell.
Yeah, but thank you very much. A surprising amount of people listened to it, and that was very encouraging, and so we appreciate it. But this week, we're going to talk about the episode, which was the new Crystal Gems.
New Crystal Gems, the Crystal Temps.
And after that, we're going to talk about an older episode that we feel kind of relates a little bit, and we mostly just want to talk about it, and it's Sworn to the Sword. And then I guess we'll talk about some gobbledygook and then end the episode.
All the feelies.
So, also, like last time, we're going to spoil the fuck out of it. There is no spoiler tag. This is your chance. Get out now if you haven't watched the episode. But go, just pause the fucking YouTube video.
Do we have to say that every time?
I'm going to eventually... It's only the 2nd episode. I feel like we don't have enough...
I don't know. I don't spend enough time on the internet to feel like everything needs spoiler tags or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
anyways,
so new Crystal Gems. This is post Stephen Baum. Everybody's coming back to Earth, and we get Steven and the whole fam landing on beach. Connie coming out to greet them. Steven sort of recaps their adventure for Connie and those of us at home who I guess weren't paying attention. And then Connie sort of breaks into what happened while they were gone.
It was really cute too. I really love the premise of Connie's storytelling, what happened, and so then I went to your house, and it was charming.
It felt like I liked that. It felt like a very real story, especially from Connie, because it started off well, I came to your house, and then it gets just major drama.
And then that weird ass bathroom shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Lapis and Peridot chilling in the toilet. This is a normal thing. Yeah.
I mean, if Lapis and Peridot had working plumbing at the barn, I'm sure they would just sit in toilets 90% of the time. Do
Crystal Gems pee?
I don't think so. They don't
gems.
Eat.
They don't eat. So, okay,
and they don't have to drink.
So,
I mean, I guess Amethyst.
In a way, a toilet is just like a beautiful meep morp.
Yeah.
That
they do use toilets
creates
in
value and meaning in the world.
Yeah. I mean, also used to be Peridot's room because she used to live in the bathroom and have to watch Steven brush his teeth and poop.
Yep.
So that was a terrible time for Peridot, I imagine.
Probably bad for Dorito Cousin.
I like how... I don't know... This is sort of the first, I guess, on-screen meeting between Connie and Peridot. And the first actual meaningful meeting between Connie and Lapis. Mm-hmm. Even though it seems like... I don't know if Connie has met Peridot or if they both just know about each other because Steven is their main companion in life. But I also like that Peridot has no idea who Connie is.
Yeah.
And is nonchalant about almost murdering a lot of people.
It's Lapis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I say Peridot?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant Lapis, the cool one.
Yeah. Lapis, the cool one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, has no idea who Connie is. That one time you tried to murder me, Lapis.
I murder a lot of people. Whatever.
And Lapis is whatever. I'm going to try and murder some people in this episode, in fact. So, yeah, and so there's not a whole lot of content that's deeply meaningful in this episode, so we're just going to talk about some stuff that we liked.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like this is distinctly a palate cleansing episode.
Yeah, everyone almost died. Steven had some existential crisis. Feels like everything's his fault. Stuff's real bad. Here's the throwaway episode. Feel good.
Yeah. I mean, I would have preferred them to have gotten into some shit, like fought an actual monster or something. But, I mean, they also probably would have failed.
It was
Probably
charming.
would have died.
It was charming.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so Lapis almost kills Yellowtail.
This is pretty fun. Yeah. I like how they. It seems like I like when they. Let's go back and when they assume roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like Lapis is the standout character. I feel like in this episode, probably because we haven't gotten a Lapis heavy episode since she had an emotional breakdown and punched a boat.
Yeah. So this has been good. It's Lapis and her sense of humor. I really liked that their Peridot was like, let's be the crystal gems and say who would be which person. And I feel like when we were youngins, we used to do this thing with like movies and TV all the time.
It's true.
And we still do to a certain extent. Like, who would you be? I don't know. And as soon as this episode finished, it was like, okay, now which one of us gets to be Garnet? So
we had a long conversation with our other partners about who is Garnet and who has to be Pearl.
Yeah, that's true. So,
I also like Pumpkin in general in this whole episode.
Real cute.
Pumpkin's the best. Hashtag Pumpkin 2020. I guess I don't know.
Okay. So another very charming thing, Lapis's accent when she's trying to be Garnet, like, I'm the Garnet.
Lapis's
really
accent
cute.
when she's being Amethyst too. Like Amethyst or Lapis gets like mad into character apparently.
She does, and her little emo hair, very cute.
Emo hair. Hashtag
Adorbs.
the oldest Daria.
The oldest Daria.
Yep.
So, also, Connie was really great in this episode, trying to Steven it, and her running around in Steven's star shirt was really cute.
It was real cute.
With Rose's sword, very, very charming. And her saying, I gotta Steven this somehow. Like, I gotta make everyone feel good and love each other and take care of these grown-ass ancient rock beings.
They're basically I don't know, 13-year-olds.
Something for love or whatever. Just get along, goddamn. Basically.
I mean, I feel like usual Steven Universe, like this is a fluffy episode, and we also get some slight character development because Peridot seems to be getting better at moving metal.
Yeah,
just throwing fucking cars around like it ain't no.
I mean, their car wash gig was pretty solid until the near murder.
Yeah, which was fun
and destruction of property or whatever. So,
Lapis, you've got to pal around some. I'm gonna drown these people. That's funny to me. I like drowning things.
Quality Lapis experience. So,
is there the Daria tell-off, like from Lapis, where it's like we're like thousands of years older than you. That like Valley Girl is so good.
It's very satisfying.
So delicious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I just really liked Connie being like, so I'm not Steven, whatever. Fuck y'all. Get your shit together.
Listen, I'm not Steven. I'm President Maheshwaran.
And you will obey my command. This is good. And, Connie's development as a character, I think, really, shown through in this episode. So,
yeah.
Is there anything else? There's not a lot in this episode. It was fun. It was a good little romp and great little story to sort of defragment ourselves from the Steven bomb stress.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Kind of pushed a little bit forward Lapis and Peridot's relationship, because they're not like super buddies all the time. They do actually get pissed off at each other
because they're both like the worst.
They are the worst.
So.
They work good together.
But so are people, right?
True,
and that's one of the things that's great about Steven Universe is that, like, the characters are not universally lovable. Like,
and it's like Steven Universe sort of deconstructed and then re-highlighted the core principle of what this is. Because Steven Universe is about relationships between a family. What happens to that relationship when somebody's gone? That sort of thing. And this is them poking fun at their own setup with like all of Connie's Stevening and the Peridot and Lapis sort of assuming roles of everybody and a pumpkin drinking soap. But at the end, they actually get shit done because they're like, this is not how our relationships work. This is how we have to form our own working relationship as the people that we are, not as the people that we think we should be.
Yeah.
So had a good lesson. Good lesson.
So, and I think that correlation is a good segue. Like the correlation of like Peridot and Lapis, like low-key tried to kill everyone in Beach City, but now she's the jaunty fun character.
Yeah. Jaunty fun. I don't
know. I mean, like, her little amethyst impression.
The amethyst impressions were pretty great.
It's pretty cute, and so I think that is a good segue into another episode, which we're going to talk about, which is Sworn to the Sword, which I think highlights some more complexity, like the levels of complexity one doesn't regularly have in a children's show with both Pearl and Rose and their relationship.
Right. So getting back in the way back machine and going back to all the way to
because
season 2.
We had such good Connie action.
It's true.
And Connie running around the sword, even though she didn't really do any swordy things with it,
Which hopefully we'll get some more swordy things coming up.
We decided to go and talk about Sworn to the Sword because of those correlations and also because we just like it.
It's true.
And so to start out, Jam Buddies.
Yeah, I had straight up forgotten sort of about this song. Not because it's like forgettable, because it's actually super duper cute. But I just, it's not Do It For Her that comes up later in the episode. There's no plot. Yeah, there's no plot going forward.
It's just a cute little song about jam. But
yeah, but it's adorbs.
It's really cute.
And
we should probably come up with a better descriptor for things that we like other than cute. But
nah, it's fine.
That's probably a flaw with us.
Everything's
like
cute
people.
or not cute. That's it. It's only two states of being.
They're the only binary we subscribe to.
It's true.
Cute and not cute. So Jam Buddies.
Really fun song. The other thing that I appreciate as somebody who plays a musical instrument is how well they animate people playing an instrument in this show.
And Connie's violin.
Right. And I mean, it's probably because I think like 90% of the storyboard artists in Steven Universe play something. But they do a really good job of like making it look like people actually playing whatever the hell it is that they're playing, which I greatly appreciate. And then then Connie's dramatic bird fight, which is very fun, where she fights the seagulls off. The seagulls harass Steven.
Right. The point of Connie should be a swordsman is the seagull harassing. Right, I forgot about that.
Go back to your masters. Tell them we will not be afraid.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Yeah. So, as we go through this episode, I really like, as usual, Steven Universe's subverting of gender norms.
It's true.
So, Steven is encouraging Connie to do this traditionally masculine thing, sword fighting, and which evolves into being a knight. And at the same time, he's being like a really good caretaker for Connie, and he's like making her protein drinks and bringing her snacks and stuff as she learns from Pearl, and that's really sweet.
Yeah, and I think this also fit a lot well into the two seasons ago of Steven, when he was like far more a straight up pacifist than he is now. He's a little bit more rough and tumble than he used to be. But and also Steven is, I like how they characterize, especially once they meet up with Pearl, and Pearl gets cuted into to teaching Connie the sword fight. I love that Pearl face, like Pearl being the like audience, so
cute. All right, sure. Yeah.
But I like when like Hollow Pearls show up. Steven is protective of people, but not in like a shitty chauvinistic masculine way. It's like,
I don't want you to get dead.
I don't want you to get dead, which is a recurring theme for Steven. He doesn't like things to get dead that he likes.
Right.
Which I guess is fair. But
given his history
of people getting dead that he likes. But the training montage, and especially during Do It For Her, probably Do It For Her better or like higher ranking or lower ranking for you than like say Stronger Than You, which is like the standout Steven Universe song, I would say.
Probably better.
I also would think it would be better.
Yeah, I just, like it. Okay, so it's not a healthy relationship, right? I feel like this is a good illustration of some more of that complexity for a children's show that, Pearl wanted to be Rose's knight in shining armor and was reckless and careless in her love, and
right, and
and it shows that.
And for a good section of the episode, we go along with the traditional glorification of that concept. Like, Pearl is pretty cool because she does all these things that, she wasn't really meant to be a fighter, and she does all these things where she was, brave and put herself in danger, and we don't necessarily know the whole story. So Connie is definitely like behind that idea. Like, I also want to be brave. I want to be, more than myself, which is sort of the line that Pearl is trying to toe here. And then he starts getting fucked up. Like, that is fucked up.
Like it's like fucked up to begin with, right?
Yeah, it's straight up fucked up to begin with. But
sacrifice yourself and put somebody else's life and will before your own is,
in just somebody's life, because
is traditional romance in America.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
And Steven doesn't really get to the thing until, like, Garnet is like, well, let me tell you, it's pretty fucked up. Like, we don't know the whole stories that, like, Pearl didn't, like, jump in front of Rose when she was having a problem, or when she was maybe going to get, killed or something like that, which wouldn't necessarily be, like, a bad thing, per se. It's just, like, Pearl constantly getting between Rose and things that Rose could probably handle.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that Rose is, big rough and tumble fighter. So.
Yeah. I just think, it is, like previously stated, it's a good illustration of relationship complexity to a level that children's shows regularly don't have. Like, this is how you have a good relationship. Like, how to communicate, or how to, like, talk to other people. Step 1, think of what you're going to say. Step 2, say that thing. Yeah. In the book that Steven's reading, it's like Steven is reading a self-help book about communication.
And I like how straightforward and real it is, because it's basically, how you should deal with situations. Like, I need to talk to somebody about this thing. I should go talk to somebody about that.
It's like a hard-ass grown-up thing to do. It's like fucking hard as shit. We're bad at it.
Yeah, we're terrible at it.
Wretched. Bad. So yeah, and of course, the Rose Pearl relationship and any depiction of that, I'm like, so that was pretty satisfying, even though it's, like, kind of fucked up.
It's true. And this is, we had illustrations of Pearl and Rose's relationship before this, because there was that whole episode with Lion in Rose's sanctum, and that whole fucking dealio. But I think this is the first time when, basically, I'm pretty sure there's, like, 4 key episodes where Pearl is just fucking sad as fuck most of the time. So this is one of the cornerstones of sad gay Pearl.
Yeah.
But I liked when, once Steven breaks in there, the fight they have against all of the Hollow Pearls, and Steven being like, you don't, like, I like how Steven isn't like, I'm going to protect you, we're going to protect each other, we're in this together as equals, as partners. Not one of us is the protector, the savior, knight of anyone. We're in this together. Also, I think this is the first inkling we get that Steven is a lot stronger than, like, a normal human being.
Yeah.
Because he does fight, like, 4 Hollow Pearls and just throws them like they ain't nothing.
Yeah.
So, you're not gonna do the pun from earlier?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I messed up.
No, there was a pun. But
I said they were, like, Brian said they, like, he threw them off, and I said, like, they were hollow. Ha, ha, ha. And it was really funny, but it's not funny now because I had to articulate it. Yeah, well, you shouldn't have reminded me of it. And now we've recorded this, and it's recorded for everyone to hear. Well, sorry.
You're welcome.
You're listening to this podcast. We're sorry. Like, maybe you should stop. I don't know.
No, it's fine. Please keep going. So Pearl has has her sort of her big kind of conflict moment. And I like how it wasn't quite as explosive as the last time we had a Pearl breakdown moment. She's more just like, I'm trying to do this thing. No, fuck it, and just kind of walks off. Because I've definitely been there before.
I feel like it's a good illustration for children that sometimes grown-ups just don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like either we have a lot of the times in children's media, either parents are absent in the children are orphaned in some strange capacity, as happens with lots of children's books.
Right. Or the parents just aren't around.
Just they aren't
for
around.
Some reason.
And so having grown-up kid interactions where the grown-up, in fact, doesn't know what they're doing or is doing something wrong, I think is really valuable for children's media, for children to consume. Like, sometimes grown-ups get it wrong, and sometimes grown-ups are doing their best, but they...
Yeah, because this is when we start... So this is when the crystal gems... I think we start building the crystal gems as, like, three-dimensional characters. Not just, like, Steven's mentors and caretakers, but, like, more complex characters in the show.
They got their own shit.
Yeah, they all have their shit to do. Because up until, just a few episodes after this, we have that whole trial thing. Like, the three-tiered trial thing, where the gems are like, what the fuck are we doing? Oh, God, how are we going to do this?
Hashtag parenting, when... parents are like, you've never even had parents. What are parents even?
Yeah, yeah, so. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, good job. And also, this starts laying the groundwork that, like, when Connie asks, like, Pearl, like, did Rose make you feel worthless? It's like, it's a legitimate question no one in the show had ever asked. We just assumed that, Rose is this good, sweet...
Right. Like, what about Rose? Like, is she... fundamentally this beautiful goddess character that was all pure love and light and joy and gave up her life so Stephen could enter the world, or like, is she secretly sinister warlord?
Did she just have did she have her own? I mean, it's probably
a little bit of both.
Yeah, I don't know if she's necessarily a sinister warlord.
I mean, but like, maybe she is.
Maybe she is. That would be sweet.
I mean, like, she kind of
evil roses
is. I mean, she can't be. She's a master of war.
Yeah, I mean, she was good at fighting a guerrilla war against a group that probably had never fought one before.
Yeah, I mean, I think, one of the reasons this is my favorite episode, and I keep returning to the same point, is that it's, it begins to illustrate some of those complexities. Like,
right.
Is Rose a good character or not? Like, is Pearl's love and adoration and knighthood to Rose, like, good, or is it kind of fucked up and obsessive, or is Rose like
leading Pearl on,
or kind of this weird abusive situation? And just kind of like, it's there, potentially, and
I don't think we're gonna get into like Rose. Like gaslighting Pearl or something like that, because I think we definitely had like a fairly strong, like, later on we got a fairly strong illustration of that when it came to like Lapis and Jasper inside of Malachite and everything, especially like Lapis and Jasper interacting in general. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, Rose is just gonna be a person like everyone else in the
Steven
show.
Universe.
Yeah, they're just fucking people trying to deal with impossible situations, because that's how life works.
It's true. It's good. So more complexity.
Always good.
Yeah.
I don't honestly know what comes up next week. I haven't looked at the schedule. I know there's a Ronaldo episode coming up, and so I'm gonna talk about such weird fucking conspiracy theory shit, guys. I'm so stoked.
I might just zone out during that or whatever.
Right, well, I'm talking about, like, Mothman, fucking UFOs, and Bigfoot is an alien.
Yeah. So, we'll definitely be here to blather about that when it happens.
It's true. And so...
record ourselves on the internet.
And so, to move on to something just a little bit different, so we both consume a lot of other media that aren't Steven Universe, that aren't necessarily related to Gay Space Rocks, which is weird, I know, but we do. And, we're both, like, big into books and music. I'm particularly into, like, all kinds of dumbass, nerdy bullshit. So this is us sort of giving, like, ups to other media things that we like and we think that you should check out. Particularly this week, the new issue of Miss Marvel came out. And fucking goddamn it, I love Miss Marvel. I was going to talk about a whole different fucking comic book, which was Moon Knight, which is also really good, and you should read that. But I forgot how fucking good this comic was, because it was last month when I read it. Like, Miss Marvel is hands down one of the best comic books that has been produced probably in the last 20 years. The character is so well-rounded and so deep, and they take such great care with her as like a young teenage girl who's grown up in high school, as somebody who's just got these powers who's trying to deal with that, as like a Muslim American person, living in the world and trying to deal with that. They tackle ideas of like gentrification in fucking Jersey City and how that affects the population really. And this particular issue, they're dealing with like internet bullshit, like fucking trolls, like an actual internet troll that manifests itself out of the computer that you can punch in the fucking face, because comic books are fucking great. But yeah, you should read Miss Marvel. The first volume, I'm sure, has been collected into trade paperbacks. I'm sure there's volume 2 trade paperbacks that have started. Get online, read it. Hopefully we'll get a fucking Kamala Khan television show or movie or something, because I know they're doing Inhumans on ABC soon. So, goddamn it, Miss Marvel, read it, do it, now. Okay. After my intense proselytizing about fucking Miss Marvel, have you read anything cool that you are equally or probably less than passionate about as I am about Miss Marvel?
I don't think so. I don't think I've read anything that I care as much about as you care about Miss Marvel. But what have I read? So I just finished the new-ish Jonathan Safran Foer book. I don't know, this is not really nerdy per se, but it's really good. It's called Here I Am, and I read it and then I cried a lot. So if you are a middle-aged Jewish man, perhaps going through a midlife crisis, you might enjoy this book. Probably not largely appealing to the people listening to the podcast, but there's lots of analyses of identity and what sometimes are contrasting identities butting up against each other can be about. So it's about this guy, and he's it's kind of his marriage falling apart as also the Middle East falls apart, and his Israeli cousins come and stay with him, and there's lots of intergenerational things that talks about his father's life and his grandfather's life, who's a Holocaust survivor, and his 2 kids, and they're playing like Half-Life like on the internet and hanging out with their Israeli cousins on Half-Life. And it just like, it sounds really, I'm not good at summarizing things, but it's really beautiful and complex. And so if you like beautiful and complex things, and that's why you like Steven Universe, I guess, you might like this book. What else have I read?
What was that one with the extras?
So I also read, this is a young adult novel, so it's slightly more correlated. It's The Rest of Us Just Live Here by, I think, Patrick Ness. I'm remembering that from my head. That could be wrong. But if only there was some wealth of knowledge at our fingertips. We're not going to do that because it'll mess up this whole voice recording situation. But it's really cool. It's kind of like... the idea is that like what's happening in the background of all of the movies and TV and media that's happening. So it's kind of like there's the cast of Buffy and they're having this interaction and plot. And then like, what are all the extras doing around them? Or the not special people, what are their lives like? Or, the cast of Twilight or whatever is having their Twilight-y action. And then, like, what are all the people in the background in Forks High School or whatever? Is that what it's called? Forks or something like that? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've read Twilight.
Don't look at me for that. I
don't know. But anyways, it's really cute, and it's got some good queer representation. There's it's like sneaky queer representation. And it also, I kind of like, it does this the main character is kind of in love with this girl, but it's in this like weird teenage boy. I'm in love with this girl, but actually, like, I don't view her as like maybe a whole entire person. Like, John Green.
I'm in love with the idea of
her. Yeah. Like kind of John Green way, and then it takes like a shit on that, which is nice.
Yeah. I
always love that thing, where it's just like, hey, imagine people more complexly. But it's a fun little romp of a YA novel, so I read that. So that was it was pretty good. It was fun little young adult book. Yeah, I don't know if I have any more evangelical recommendations. Power Bottom. I mean, I guess I've been listening to that song New Hampshire basically on loop.
Yeah.
Since
if you don't
happened.
know who Power Bottom is, they're like, a queer rock duo who are basically the fucking best.
It's true. So good. Anyways.
You should listen to them.
It's
stylized, so don't type in just power bottom into YouTube.
It's like PWRBTTM. Definitely type it in with the vowels.
Yeah, use
Have
all
a
the
good
vowels.
time.
Turn off safe search.
Get some lube.
Little.
Listen, I don't know, whatever. No judgment, no shame here. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I have any other recommendations of cool things I've consumed. So, thanks for listening.
No problem. Yeah, thank you so much. We should theoretically be back next week, reviewing whatever the hell the fuck comes out, and then also talking about another old related episode. Maybe we'll just binge watch all the Ronaldo episodes because everyone loves the Ronaldo episodes fucking much.
No one does. It's just you.
We do now. Like, everyone does, because everyone realizes that, all of his conspiracy theories are true except for Sneeple. But we're getting there.
Anyways.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. And again, to all the people who tuned in last week, thank you so much. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, either post them in the comments here, or there will definitely be, like, a Reddit thread for this and the our Steven Universe Reddit. We'll eventually have social media, I guess, but we're so bad at social media even in our real lives, so
yeah, it's the worst. It's literally Satan.
Yeah.
So
like just post on the Reddit thread or here, because that's where we'll actually notice you.
The anonymous internet is better.
It's true. We do want to hear your questions and your opinions about things, because we're hopefully not shouting into the void.
Unless you think we suck, in which case, fuck you.
Yeah, we'll fight you.
Yeah, we will fight.
But not like really fight you.
We will. I will.
We'll really fight you. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
I will at least. Okay, anyways.
Bye.
Good night.